Hi guys, so this is just a little tutorial on how to use Google Sheets, and this video will be regarding the nutrition side of it. So what you want to do is open up your Google Sheets and then you'll find a file that will have your name on it and nutrition tracking. So just click onto your name, and what you want to do first is just make sure that in the top right hand corner here, the three little dots, click on that and make sure it is set to view in light theme. So that's not in light theme, and that is what we want it to look like. So the first page should be just some nutrition info, and it will look like this. So what we will do is we'll put in your calories and your macros, so leave that one blank, don't worry about that. When you do open it, your calories and macros will be in there, and also your initial measurements that you'll give us through your client questionnaire, so that will all be set in there, as well as your name, age, body weight and height, and of course sex. And then as you scroll down, you'll see in the blue we've got some instructions. So that is basically just telling you to record your macros and calories and what you eat in MyFitnessPal. So you're going to be putting that in every night or throughout the day, however you want to go about it. And yeah, so ensure spreadsheet is up to date and check-in questions are complete by the evening of your check-in day. So you will organise with your coach what day you want to do your check-in. So that's going to be different for everyone, but you'll know, and we'll set that on there for you so you know when those questions are to be completed. And then there's also progress photos, so you're going to do that every 2 weeks. Okay, and then down here we've got some frequently asked questions, so that's just to guide you when you're doing your measurements and your photos, and also a bit about the tracking. So just make sure you read through that just so you've got a good idea on all of those things, rather than having to email us and ask. It's all on there for you. And then when we scroll over here, we've also got some extra educational content. So we've got things like calories in, calories out, what is a calorie, just some different things that we want to educate you guys on so you have a better understanding before you start tracking and training. And yeah, those things will just really help you. So you'll see the links on the side there, and that'll just take you to the Kaha Performance YouTube, and then we've got all the videos on there for you, so you can go back to them whenever you need. Okay, so the next tab we've got is the tracking. So this is probably the most important sheet that we've got on here. So this is where you're going to be tracking all your macros and calories. So you'll see at the top left it says check-in day. So as I said before, you'll be discussing that with your coach, and yeah, so you'll just select what your check-in day is. So for example, you can select Tuesday, and this sheet over here you'll see will automatically change. So it'll tell you that the week's going to be starting Wednesday and then so on. So it'll start the day after your check-in day. And then you'll see also on the left-hand side here we've got your weekly goals. So you can just select and simply just write in your 4 main goals for the week. So nutrition-wise and training-wise, like it can be literally anything, just what your main focuses are, and then we can track that along with your nutrition. So how to use this section over here. So this white section here you'll see with the protein, carbs, fat and fiber. So that is a prescribed section. So you guys won't have to put anything into that. So whatever we prescribe you, we will fill in this grey and white section to the left and the total calories. And yeah, that'll be full for you when you get it. But the part that you guys will be doing is this red area over here, so the tracked. So whatever you guys log into MyFitnessPal, that's what you're going to be putting into this section over here, as well as, the total calories. And you've also got alcohol here. So if you do, for example, have an event on a Saturday night and we want you to track your standard drinks, so rather than just like the grams and whatever calories and macros of like mixes you had, we just want you to calculate your standard drinks, and then everything else that's like additional to that you'll obviously put into MyFitnessPal. However, if this were to arise, like we'll be talking about that and how to plan for, say, having like a night out or going out for dinner and things like that. So you've also got on the side here your steps. So it would be helpful if you guys did have like a tracker such as an Apple Watch, a Fitbit. You can even use your iPhone. There's on the health app, it actually tracks your steps. However, it only tracks them if you're holding your phone. So just be aware of that if you're going to use that as a method. So it's not going to be as accurate as using a watch that you're wearing all day. We've also got your sleep, so you can record how many hours of sleep you've gotten, and then also your training. So you've got some options. So for example, walk, run, lower, upper, HIIT, rest, full body. So you can just track that in there. And cycle is just what training cycle you're on. So it'll be cycle 1 for the first 3 to 4 weeks, depending on what your programming schedule looks like. Okay, so next we've got a food chart. So this is just something additional we thought might help you guys. So we've got some healthy sources of protein, plant-based protein, fibrous carbs, high energy carbs, fats, and also fruits. So if you're doing your tracking and you're a little bit stuck on just some options, we thought this might be like a good little resource for you guys just to come into and have a look for some ideas. So there's a lot of different ideas here. Pretty straightforward, that one. So it's just an extra resource for you guys. So next we've got our check-in questions. So like I said before, depending on when you've chosen to check in, you'll just fill in the date section on the side here and just put in your check-in date. And then there's also some questions. So what were your main goals and focuses this week, and what did you do to work towards them? Are there any limitations and challenges you faced? How did you overcome these? What 2 things can you improve on for next week? So these are really just to get you to think and really reflect on the week you've had, rather than just looking at the numbers and going off that. We want to get an idea of a bit more in-depth things, like how you're feeling, your thoughts on certain things, and most importantly, like how we can assist you to make sure next week is better and you are making the process to hit your goals and to hit your macros and calories and to just be on point. So these are really important. So we want you guys to fill in these questions every week, and just so we can get a better idea of what's working and what's not. So that's the check-in questions. And you can, if you haven't used Google Sheets before, so you can just scroll and zoom in like you normally would on an iPhone, or if you have an Android, I'm sure you can get it on there as well. And you just select the box, and down the bottom here, you're able to write, and you just press the little tick when you want to go off. Okay, so next up we've got measurements. So this is going to be your measurement sheet, and in the blue here we've got calories. So put whatever your calories were for that week, and then you'll do your weigh-in. So we only want you to weigh yourselves once a week, so that'll be on the check-in day as well. And then we've also got all your measurements. So we've got everything here in the grey. We've also got a little photo just to show you a guide to where each spot is. So that should make it a little bit easier and a bit more accurate, rather than doing the measurements at different spots each week. We've got a guide here, just if you were to change who is doing your measurements. So we want to keep that as accurate as possible. And then down here I've also got some instructions, so just read through them so you've got a good idea on how to do these measurements properly, just so we can get the most accurate results. They're pretty straightforward. So next we're going to have a graph of the data. So I'm going to put the weight in, for example. On the first week, your weight could be 65, 63, 62.9. Okay, and then that is going to correspond with this graph here. So you'll see on the y-axis we've got the weight in kilos, and then at the bottom we've got the date. So I'll just quickly put the date in too to show you. So if this were the 2nd of Feb, let's do that. Oops. You'll see on the graph down the bottom, it'll tell you the dates and then also how you're tracking. I'll just do this properly for you just so you can see. So the 17th. Okay. And yeah, so that'll come up for you and just show you basically like a line graph of the trend of how you're progressing with your weight. So that's just an extra little tool there, just for you guys to see your progress. And so next we've got the photo updates. So I'll just show you guys how to insert a photo. So you're going to press the little plus, you're going to press on image, and then you do image in cell, and yeah, just pick from your camera roll, or from your photos, sorry, and then if I wanted to add a photo in, I would just select and it would come up there. So that one's pretty straightforward, and yeah, you just write in your weight up the top there. So that's just so we've got a record of your photos as well as your measurements and weight and everything else. Okay, so lastly, this is just the coach's notes, so you guys won't actually need to be accessing or touching this tab, so just leave that one how it is, and yeah, that's just for us just to note any significant things such as events, menstrual cycle, deficit, just anything like that, just so we can see how that corresponds with all the rest of your notes and your check-ins. So yeah, that's about it for this one. Just remember that you can always contact us if you have any additional questions. Just make sure that you guys go through all the frequently asked questions, the Kaha Classroom video links, and just all the resources that we've got there for you. And yeah, enjoy.